Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 17 of Boys Retrocast, the weekly podcast where two guys look back at the show that shaped their lives. I'm Blake.
I'm Kyle, former lobster boy.
And today we are talking about the episode from season 1, episode 15, Model Family, directed by David Trainer, written by Ed Beckner and John Schwartz. Original air date February 4th, 1994. And we have a special guest star in this episode as well. Kyle, what's this episode about?
Cory learns that there is no such thing as a perfect family when he's assigned to get into group with Shawn, Topanga, and Cory. Wait a minute, they put Cory down twice.
Oh, thank you, Wikipedia. Well, you know how to correct that. It's Minkus.
Okay, and Shawn, Topanga, and Minkus, and work together as a family.
And who's our special guest star?
Kathy Ireland.
Wow. I almost didn't recognize her at first, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I say that? I did not recognize her at first. All right, let's get started here. We are in school, and we're watching Leave It to Beaver, which was so random.
Yeah.
I just like,
Kind of the last thing I would ever expect to see in an educational setting is Leave It to friggin' Beaver.
well, I didn't see at a valid point. At
Yeah.
least the whole point Feeny was making was valid.
Yeah.
We cut back, and Feeny asked the class, "What do you think? How you think the Cleaver family?" And Cory said they're too perfect and too TV.
Yeah.
And Feeny agreed.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I agree with them.
What's that sound? Satan is strapping on his ice skates.
Well, I have to agree though. It is way too TV.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I love this. We love this show so much because it's not a typical TV
It
family.
likes to poke holes in the TV family.
And I think this is the start of that, really, because this is where things become fun.
This is before we get to sparklers are cool.
Oh, we'll get to Eric in a little bit. We have plenty to say about Eric. Trust me.
This sparkler represents the eternal flame. Hot.
Before we get to Eric, we'll get back to here. I love how Cory was trying to figure out. Cory figured out Feeny's lesson, and he said, "We did families in 5th grade. We're in 6th grade."
Okay.
So Feeny's like, "Well, could you put together an urban gangs with a mother and a father and 2 kids?"
Just saying, the required watch will be Dennis Hopper's Colors.
And
Nothing says family togetherness than watching Robert Duvall and Sean Penn take on street gangs.
and Cory says, you love when you dangle the stuff in front of me." He said, "I had a cat."
You dangle that string of hope in front of me.
And Feeny's like, "I had a cat." And Sean's reaction was, "I bet it hung himself."
But did we mention? Have we gotten to the part where we find out who's assigned for who?
I was at next. All right, next. It's right here because he hasn't gotten to the blackboard yet.
Oh.
So he writes down on the blackboard the ideal family. So we're gonna be assigning people together, and the ideal family members have to write down the description of what they think their ideal person is going to be for the other person.
And then they have to act like it.
This is important.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Feeny, the wise ass, pretty much in this episode, and he teams Minkus and Shawn together.
And the resulting moment is glorious because both simultaneously facepalm.
I have written down about there's a lot of facepalm head slapping in this episode. This went on throughout the entire show for everybody. But Minkus and Hunter are now paired as brothers, and that we'll get to that in a few minutes because that was fun. I did write down the fact that Cory got a Nerdorama, which I never heard before Mighty Ducks. I didn't have to make a note of that. I never heard that before Mighty Ducks, so I thought that was pretty funny. And Cory and Topanga will be together as parents, which I laughed openly at, knowing the future of this series. I love the fact that they tease that so much in season 1, but they don't get anywhere until the end of the season.
Yeah.
I love that. So, it's all assigned. We move on to the mall, which is the first time I've ever been to the mall, as I pointed out. We're usually at school or home. School or home.
We even get a nice establishing shot of the mall.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah.
Almost felt like a Saved by the Bell episode for a second.
Only there's no Max.
No. We don't even have chubbies yet. It's so early in the run.
Yeah.
We don't even have anything yet. So, Eric and his buddy Jason, who will be on the show forever a long time after this.
Jason Marsden, played by Jason Marsden. Well, when you're working with someone like that, it's best to keep things simple.
Like Tony Danza?
Yeah. Crap, what was I going to say? Yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Jason Marsden, the voice acting less handsome brother of James Marsden.
They're checking out girls at the mall. Apparently, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And someone comes up to Eric. Wait. Jason was going on this whole tangent on how he would want someone attractive to come up to him, tap on his shoulder, and say, "You're who I'm looking for," or whatever his wording was.
Yeah.
And Alexis,
played by Kathy Ireland,
tapped on Eric's shoulder the exact same bit that Jason said.
Yeah.
And Jason looks up at this guy and said, "You missed." That was funny. That was very, very funny. So,
and Eric's brain completely shuts down.
Pretty much. Well, then again, do you blame him?
Yeah.
It is Kathy Ireland.
Yeah. Eric.exe has encountered a problem and must shut down.
It's Kathy Ireland in the 90s. Which is hotter. Like I said, I'm being serious. It's been 20 years.
Yeah?
I did not recognize her. Yeah. It was really weird because it has been 20 years since this Kathy Ireland.
There is something to be said. There is something to be said for older women.
Wow. We did find out here also Eric and Jason have been friends since they were 3 years old, which is interesting because it's a very good joke at the end of the show. Yeah. You have to choose between me and her. And Jason turns around.
Bye.
See ya. Gone. So we go home. This is where the fun begins, and this is where things got fun. The four of them are sitting there trying to figure out their project.
Oh, man. They could have made an entire episode around that.
Oh, I would have loved it. It's a whole subplot on its own.
Yeah.
The four of them are sitting around the table, and what the fuck was Cory reading? Topanga had to be like a Native American.
Had him get in touch with the Navajo spirit.
The Navajo spirit. That's what it was. Thank you. The Navajo spirit. And I love the fact that...
and get in touch with nature, too.
Yes. Well, I did love how Cory's like, it would be great. I'm not a Navajo!
You don't have to be a Navajo to get in touch with nature.
I think it would be American, but either way, looking very funny. Yeah. But Cory gets her the list. I forgot this is again. This is one of those scenes I see so many times in memes that I forgot this was in this episode.
Yeah.
And she goes on this whole list of stuff that Cory wants.
Yeah.
And they're so kiddie.
Yeah.
That she turns to him and says, "Why don't you just marry Shawn?"
And they just look at each other like,
because our kids would look like horses. Yeah. That's the answer to that question, apparently.
So the kids would look like My Little Pony.
Damn you. Damn you. So close. So close. Shawn. Well, I do find it funny. The two of them are arguing. And Minkus is like, "Don't you hate it when mom and dad fight?" She's like, "No, I'm enjoying." That did a lot about Shawn right there.
Yeah. And says a little bit about Minkus right there, too.
Minkus has never had a sibling.
Yeah.
So he gives him a 48-page book on how to be the model brother. I'm like, I almost felt bad for Minkus for a half a second. It's like, oh wow, he never had anybody in his life. So this is
and then just imagine how miserable they would be.
Very true. So
imagine the temptation it would. Imagine the amount of willpower it would take to avoid the temptation to smother him with a pillow.
Well, in comes Eric.
Yeah.
Fresh from the mall.
And strikes a nice Calvin Klein
Which was hysterical on the counter. Very funny. I got another picture I seen it memes like crazy the last 3 weeks. And we find out that
he goes through a Calvin Klein spiel.
Yes, he does. He goes on this tangent and I've been discovered. Yeah. And I love how Shawn, Topanga, and Cory all completely caught on to what the hell is going on within seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds.
Because it kind of speaks volumes about their intelligence over his.
I know, seriously. They all got... Oh, Minkus didn't get it at first, but the three of them... I love that. Minkus didn't catch on, but the other three did. That says a lot.
So for once it wasn't Minkus. It wasn't Minkus.
Yeah, the other three caught it that he was scammed out of $90 for modeling pictures.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant. And it was also brilliant because they're going on this whole thing and Eric's like, "No, I can't be." And Minkus is like, "No, it's totally... It's totally Detroit. I got discovered at the mall.
Oh, no. It goes, listen to Minkus. He's really smart, isn't he?
And he's like, I was discovered at the mall.
And that's when he realized that this is indeed a scam.
And then another head slap. And I said, this happened all over the show. I thought it was funny.
Not only does he facepalm, he slumps over the counter.
Yes. And that's what... Damn you, Morgan. I didn't write it down, but it made me laugh. Yeah. Morgan walks in like, you're going to break up with a lot of... Girls are going to break up with you for years. Get over it.
Your girls are going to dump you all your life.
Get over it. Yeah. That was funny. Morgan has her moments, and it's funny every time.
Yeah.
So
still doesn't top the time she and her mom went Danny Ocean on another parent.
No. But she has her moments. Don't mind me, I'm looking something at Mandy asked me to look up. So anyway, she has her moments. Well, Alan, to his credit, was just kind of snapped when Cory told him what happened.
Yeah.
And then Amy pulled him outside.
Yeah.
And this is where it became funny. And I have to admit, I didn't expect this whole scene. Amy brought him outside, and she's like, I know what you were going to say.
Oh, wait, you forgot his Terminator impression.
Oh, yeah, good call. Very nice. I'll be back. That I did not expect either. Yeah. We brought him outside, and Amy, and I feel like I've had this conversation before. Amy's like, I know what you were going to say. And she pretty much said exactly what he was going to say to him.
Yeah.
And Alan's like, just kind of sits there. Stands there for a second. Do you know what he was going to say? No, he's more complicated than you.
That's complicated is not the word I would use.
I think it's more the teenage thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To say, unbelievably stupid would be the words that I would use.
And somehow in this whole meeting, Amy pretty much tells Alan to let Eric make his own decisions.
Yeah. And
somehow in this, Eric walks out and says, I feel bad. I'm going to go to the mall and see if I can get my money back.
Yeah.
And Amy's reaction was fantastic because Alan just like stunned. Alan literally stunned. And Amy pretty much goes and says, good thing I married you for your body, while slapping him right in the ass and walks away. And there's something you don't notice when you're younger, but you catch it when you're older. Brilliant move.
See? Oh, crap. Oh.
As I could fill up my mug. My Blake and South Show mug.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let Eric make his own decisions. This could only end in disaster.
Obviously, because we go to the mall, Eric allegedly got a real modeling gig for $50. And doesn't even pay for the headshots, but we'll go with this.
Say, oh boy, a whole $50.
Well, like I said, it doesn't even pay for the headshots. The headshots for $90. Yeah. Most of the time, most modeling gigs you get at least pay for your headshots. Yeah. At least. We'll get to the modeling gig though in a little while. Yeah. What I found funny about this was Eric telling Jason, don't let me spend any more money, and hands him his wallet. Which is a side joke. I don't know how people caught it, but it made me laugh.
Yeah. And then Jason soon realizes, there's a new game out.
So
he didn't want to spend any of his money. He didn't say anything about me spending any of his money.
Ooh, I have to do that in the show. Sorry, I just got a message about winning tickets to Disney on Ice. Oh. Sorry. And I'm getting so distracted by messages I'm getting today. Anyway, so we come back to home, and Cory's on the floor reading a book about marriage, which is funny. It's funny in general.
I thought he was reading a book about the Navajo War.
Was it Navajo War?
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about marriage with Alan.
Yeah.
And that was just fun. The two of them going back and forth on marriage and being a parent was cracking me up the entire episode, and I wish...
Want to know what the hard part is about being married?
Actually being married. The two of them going back and forth all show was funny, and I wish we got more of that on the main show now. We got some of that in the Christmas episode. That's why this is funny to me. So, Eric walks in excited.
Because he got a modeling gig.
And he quits his job. And Alan pretty much uses Amy's words against her.
Yeah.
and has a newspaper in his hands. You can tell he's fuming. You can tell he's fuming. And he has a newspaper in his hands, and Amy loads up